Welcome to Storytime with Tim, sharing my stories of long ago, back on the old porch, bloodhounds and all my relatives telling stories about fishing and all kinds of stuff. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, leave comments, hit the notification bell if you like. Give me a like, hit the old hand thing, and let your friends and family, and your doggies too, know about Storytime with Tim on my YouTube. Below the video, you'll see a thing that says more. Click on that, opens up the description of the video. It has my merch store that's brand new, Amazon store that I have, my disclaimer, and some other things in there. So click on the link for my merch store, help support the channel, and let your friends know about it too. So let's get going on Story Time with Tim.
Hey, welcome to Story Time with Tim. Hey, I'm going to do a story about when I was a musician, when I was very young, and playing guitar in my first band. But I actually started playing guitar when my dad came home from a tavern late at night, him and Mom, and came out of my bedroom and woke me up and said, "Tim, look what I got. I got you a guitar." It was actually a nice acoustic guitar, and it needed some new strings. But the guy that he met at a bar, he was talking about being a musician himself, and the guy says, "Well, you know, I got a guitar," and he said, "I'll sell it to you," and because he was talking about me about wanting to play guitar. And this is, you know, after the Beatles had come on, Ed Sullivan and stuff, and they're all young boys my age wanted to become a rock musician, you know, like the Beatles. So Dad got this guitar from this guy for $50, and Dad put it in the car and went back in the bar. And then once the guy sobered up a little bit, he goes, "Well, you know, I don't, you know, maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I should get that guitar back, you know." And Dad says, "No, you sold it. It's done deal. I'm taking it home." And the guy, you know. So anyway, Dad gave me that guitar, and I started teaching myself how to play guitar rather than taking lessons, you know. I already took lessons playing piano, and I bailed on that. So Dad wasn't too thrilled about spending more money having me learn how to play guitar. So I started teaching myself how to play. And there was a school dance at Kenmore Junior High, and I was in 7th grade, I believe. And it was in the 60s, and I went to the school dance, and the band that was playing was actually the beginning of Heart, with Roger Fisher, Steve Fossman, and they had a drummer that lived up the street, you know, from Kenmore Junior High, and a really good drummer. But they didn't keep him for whatever reason, or he left. And Don Wilhelm played keyboards and sang. He was the only singer in the band. So I was watching Roger Fisher play guitar, and so I just started copying what he was doing on the guitar. Well, the bar chords that I was playing, bar chords, usually your fingers are all in alignment, right? Well, I switched mine, so I always played with the little finger up and this finger next to the little finger in a different position. They were turned around, and everybody always goes, "Oh, that's kind of weird." But being I was self-taught, I just kind of learned how to do it that way. And so I started playing, and down in Kenmore, trying to, you know, get a band together or whatever, and it just never. I left in. I went through 7th and 8th grade, and there was nobody else playing in a band yet, you know. It was still early. So in 9th grade, my parents and I moved to Mallory Terrace. And it was a split-level house, big basement, you know. It actually had a little stage for the drums, you know. My dad was a drummer, so he set up his drums, and I was, you know, rocking out on the drums and then playing. By then, I got an amp to go with this guitar, and I had a pickup that I put on the acoustic guitar, and so I started playing guitar too in the basement. And then one day, Mom came down in the basement with these other kids about my age, you know. We're all about the same, going into 9th grade at Mount Terrace Junior High. And so they came in, and you know, there's like 3 of them, and it turned out to be they liked what I was doing and wanted to start a band with me, and they needed a guitar player. So so we all, it was in the summertime, so it was before school started. So we all started practicing down at the Glenn Gosh's house, his parents' house. And they had, you know, we just practiced in the living room. And so it was all going good, and we all liked each other. And then school started in 9th grade. Well, they had a talent show coming up. And back then, the drummer that we had, he lived on the other side of the freeway. So eventually he had to, you know, when high school started, he had to go to Edmonds Wooden High School, so he left the area as far as school went. And then the bass player was a friend of mine, and he didn't work out because he was like me. He didn't go to get lessons or anything, and so it held him back. So the other guys, you know, said, "Hey, we need to, you know, get a better bass player," and then Steve, the drummer, they didn't like him for whatever. I thought he was a good drummer. In fact, he was really good, but there was some reason they didn't like him, so they wanted to go a different route. And so we placed the drummer and the bass player, and there was a battle of bands up at the Linwood Roller Rink. And so every Saturday night, I think they had it. So we started going up there in the battle of bands, and the early band, like I was saying, it was called Army, and eventually became Heart. They were battling against us, you know. And so we won some, they won some. There was another band called Far Too Many. They had like 10 people in the band, and they had horns, and it was just awesome. They played a lot of Beatles, like the Sgt. Pepper album. They were playing some of those songs, and it sounded great, you know. But keeping a band together that big with people doing different things is just really, really tough as a musician to keep any band together. I went through several bands after this first one. But anyway, the first band, we called ourselves the Circuit Breakers. And I'm going to put a picture on the end of this video. And the first time we played was actually at Mount Lake Terrace Junior High for a talent show. And they asked us to play, and it was during lunch. It was, you know, during the day, you know, it wasn't a dance at night. So we got it all set up, you know, and Steve, the drummer, like I said, he built a platform for his drums and everything. So he really knocked himself out just for this talent show, you know, to get set up. And we only knew 3 songs. We played Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones. We played The Last Train to Clarksville by the Monkees. And we played a song called Gloria by the band Them. And Van Morrison was the lead singer of the band back then. So that was it. We knew 3 songs. And so after we played, they all wanted to play the school dance, at night. And it was like, oh, man, how are we going to do this, So we learned a bunch of songs real fast and played it, and it went well. We got, a bunch of jobs after that, playing, at picnics, at parks. We played at Martha Lake picnic at that park. We played at McCollum Park. They had a thing going on there, and different bands playing back then. And played at Cottage Lake, at a picnic there. We played at the Hilltop Community Club. There was a big fight that broke out, and oh man, that was ugly. We never played there again. No. And so it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of girlfriends, met a lot of people. We played at the Linwood Eagles every Monday night. They had a teen dance night, right? And they had a contest. The couple that danced the best won something. I don't know, a gift card to a restaurant or something. It was fun. Dave Biddle was our drummer by then, and he did a drum solo. Everybody loved the drum solos back then, and he was good. He was kind of the reason they wanted to go to him in the first place is because he had a jazz style. He was a trained drummer, and took lessons and everything, so he was really good. And then his older brother John Biddle, he was in that band for Far Too Many that played all that Beatles Sgt. Pepper stuff. So both brothers played drums, and they were both really good. So that's my story for this week. The story of my first rock and roll band, the Circuit Breakers. I think it was like 1966, maybe, something around there. I know the Beatles played at the Coliseum. 65, I believe, that I went with my older niece and her girlfriend. We went there and saw the Beatles. And I couldn't even hear the band. It was like a whole, just big, solid scream through the whole concert. Except for when they played a slow song, they kind of settled down enough that you could hear them sing, But other than that, and the sound systems back then, they were pretty much what they had on stage was it. So it was really kind of hard to hear the bands back then if there was a lot of screaming going on. So anyway, that's the end of the story. So if you enjoy my stories, please subscribe, leave a comment, hit the notification bell on the right of the subscribe. That'll give you updates on my newest videos coming out. All right.